Hello students, welcome back to our video. So in the last video we discussed about the theory of preference share. So now we are going to discuss the difference between the equity share and the preference share. So now let's start with that. So in that the first basis of difference is compulsory. So for the equity share, it is compulsory to issue equity shares each company. So for every company it is very compulsory to issue the equity shares, whereas for the preference shares it is not compulsory to issue such share by the each company. Got it? Then the next point of difference is rate of dividend. For equity share, rate of dividend is not fixed. Rate of dividend is not fixed for the equity shareholders, and for the preference share, rate of dividend is fixed. So the preference shareholders get the fixed dividend. Then the third point of difference is rights. So for the equity shareholders, there is a right to attend company's meeting, to vote and elect the managers, whereas for the preference shareholders there is right to vote only in matters related to their interest. Then the fourth is risk. So for the equity shares, proportion of risk is more, whereas for the preference shareholders, proportion of risk is less. Then fifth one is investors. So in the equity shares, these shares are preferred more by investors who wish to take risk and speculate, that means gamble in shares, whereas for the preference shares, these shares are preferred more by the investors who wish to get fixed income and security of capital. Then next is market price. So for the equity shares, there is increase or decrease in market price of shares, whereas for the preference shares, proportionately the price of a share remains the fixed. No increase or decrease in the market price for the preference shareholders. Then next is addition in capital. So for the equity shares, in this type of shares, capital can be raised by right shares and bonus shares, whereas for the preference shares, capital cannot be raised. Okay, got it? So these were the points of differences of equity shares and preference shares. So now we are done with the topic of equity shares and preference shares. Now let's look at the third type of owner's capital, that is retained profit, or we can say ploughing back of profit. What is retained profit? So during sound financial position, company earns more profit. Instead of distributing all the profits in the form of dividend, company keeps some part of profit in the form of reserves in business. For future payment of business liabilities, these retained earnings are reinvested in the business. It is called the ploughing back of profit. So in simple words, we can say that during the financial position, like sound financial position, like if company is earning more profit than usual, then instead of distributing all the profits to the equity shareholders and to the preference shareholders, company keeps some part of profit in the form of reserves in business. Same way as we do like savings in money, we save some money, many people also open the savings account in their bank. Same way, company also keeps some part of the profit in the form of reserves, so that they can in the future, if any liability arises, then they can do that payment through the reserve of this profit. So this retained earnings, it is also known as retained earnings, means when company keeps some part of the profit in the form of reserves, then it is known as retained earnings. So these retained earnings are reinvested in the business whenever it is needed or for the future payment of business liabilities. Then it is called the ploughing back of profit. Business keeps some amount of profit aside, or we can say in the form of reserve for the future payment of the business liabilities, that is known as retained profit, or we can say in other words ploughing back of profit. So now let's see the advantages of retained profit or ploughing back of profit. So first advantage is useful in times of recession, negative changes in the market, as well as to face the difficulties arising in times of recession. The retained profit is very useful. So in the time of recession means if business is not earning any profit at that time, this retained profit is very useful, because you all know that every day there is some changes takes place in the market. So during the negative changes in the market, this retained profit is very useful. Then second advantage is useful in implementations of the future plans. For implementations of future plans like development of business unit, then expansion and modernization, there is need to raise the capital. Company does not have to depend on external sources. So like in the future, if company wants to like expand their business or do like modernization in the business, so like if the company have reserved some profit, then company would not be like there is no need to raise additional capital from the external sources. The company or the business can use the reserved profit in the future if the business wants to expand their business. Then third advantage is useful to purchase new assets. So at the end of estimated life of assets, the retained profit can be used to purchase new assets. So it is also useful for the purchase of new assets. Then fourth advantage is fixed dividend policy. When sometimes company adopts a stable dividend policy, this retained earnings becomes very useful for the fixed dividend policy. Then fifth one is burden-free assets. As it is a source of ownership capital, retained profit, there is no need to create burden on the assets, because some profit is reserved. Therefore, there is no need to create a burden on the assets. Like they have to sell their assets in the future. Like if any circumstances business is not able to pay or repay their liabilities, then in that case the company can use the reserved profit. That's why it is said that it reduces the burden-free assets. Then sixth one is borrowed capital can be repaid. Retained profits are also useful to repay the borrowed capital. If a business has borrowed some loan or capital from the bank or any financial institutions, then the retained profit also becomes very useful to repay that borrowed capital. Then seventh one is decrease in cost of capital. Due to having retained profit, the business unit has not to depend on to raise capital by external sources, or no expenditure is incurred in getting the capital. Thus, there is a decrease in the cost of capital. And the last advantage is owner's fund. So, ploughing back of profit. Ploughing back of profit means reserving some amount of profit. Ploughing back of profit is an owner's fund. There is no need to pay the interest. Okay, so these were the following advantages of retained profit, or we can say ploughing back of profit. Now let's discuss the limitations of retained profit. So first one is encouragement of monopoly. Excessive ploughing back of profit encourages monopoly. So you all know that excessive is also not good. Excess of anything is never good for anyone. Okay, that's why excessive ploughing back of profit is also encourages monopoly. Then second one is promote the speculations. Many times managers of business, by paying less dividend, carry excess profit to reserve fund. As a result, market price of share decreases. At this time, directors buy the shares, and in future they declare higher dividend. And when market price of share increases, then by selling such share at higher price, they derive personal profit. Speculation means for their own interest. Sometimes bluffing back of profit also results in encouragement of higher price, like personal profit. Business starts to look at that personal profit, and they can do anything for increasing their personal profit. So bluffing back of profit may also promote these speculations. Then third one is difficult for financially weak and for new companies. Bluffing back of profit is not possible for the financial weak and also for the new company. So if any company which is not able to make the accurate profit, and whichever company which is newly incorporated, for that companies it is not possible to retain the profit. Then the last limitation is no benefit to small investors. Small investors invest in business unit for expectations of higher dividend. If directors prefer bluff-back profit more necessary, then small investors do not get the sufficient dividend. So, if any directors or any company wants prefer bluffing back of profit more, then the small investors do not get the sufficient dividend. So there is no benefit to the small investors. So this were the note on the written profit, or we can say the bluffing back of profit. So this is the owner's fund. So there are three types of owner's fund that we saw. First one was equity shares, then second one was preference shares, and the third one was retained profit or bluffing back of profit. So now we are done with the owner's fund. So now we are going to stop here. In the next video we are going to start with the borrowed funds. So if you have any questions or any doubts, please feel free to comment below the video. Thank you.